Radical and repugnant Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene now has made the very brave declaration that she refused to wear the COVID vaccine. I don't know what on earth that means either. She filmed this video alongside her new partner, Brian Glenn. That's the dude who always looks sunburned and stoned during the Trump rallies on Right Side Broadcasting Network and interviews people. They are now together. Much speculation about whether Glenn is responsible for the breakup of Marjorie Taylor Greene's marriage. Don't know, don't really care. But they both now are talking about masks and vaccines. Marjorie Taylor Greene says she never wore the vaccine, and her boyfriend actually seems to dodge the vaccine question. When she says, you know, you're not vaccinated, he seems to skip over that and only talk about masks, which is kind of interesting. Take a look at this.
Well, and I'll be upfront and honest with you. I'm not vaccinated. I always refuse to wear the vaccine, and I wore mask a little bit some of the time, but it got to a certain point where I refused the mask as well. Brian, you're not vaccinated. You're not,
I didn't want to wear the mask at all. And a lot of times in the airport, I was asked to put it on, and I would for a second, and then I would take it off.
Yes.
There you go. Very, very proud and powerful act of defiance. So anyway, he just skips over whether or not he's vaccinated, but she says she won't wear the vaccine. Tinfoil hats she'll gladly wear, but the vaccine she's not willing to strap onto herself. So what I think is the most important, as we continue to just learn and get more information about everything that went on in the COVID era, there's learning for everybody to do. The original vaccine, very effective at preventing transmission. The more recent versions of the vaccine against the more recent variants, almost completely ineffective at preventing transmission, still very good at preventing illness or death and reducing the odds that you end up in the hospital. Okay, so we're learning about that. One of the things that we're also learning about is the hypocrisy that knows no bounds from members of the Republican Party and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. They cry about masks and how mask requirements are discriminatory and they're potentially illegal, they love to say, et cetera, et cetera. But they are completely on board with this systematic push for laws that discriminate against LGBT people and folks who aren't Christian, and women telling them you don't have any right to decide for yourself with medical professionals what is right for you and your family. We're going to tell you no abortion. It's going to be against the law, and we might even prosecute you or the doctor or whoever if you try to procure an abortion. This idea of discrimination. You're discriminating against me by saying I have to wear a mask, or to the extent that there were vaccine requirements at certain points in time. The businesses are the ones now discriminating. Wait a second. You have been pushing a politics for decades of letting businesses do whatever they want. You don't even want, many of these folks don't even want protected classes of people. They always say, listen, a business should be allowed to say, we don't serve black people or gay people. And then customers can choose not to patronize that business if they don't like that policy. For decades, they've been saying, don't restrict what businesses can do. All of a sudden, businesses say, well, some of us are going to require a vaccine, or some of us are going to require, that should be illegal. You're discriminating against people who don't want to wear a mask or shouldn't wear a mask because of carbon dioxide conspiracies or whatever the case may be. The hypocrisy knows no bounds, even on serious issues that they claim to be at the top of the policy questions that they believe our government should be dealing with. So they are hypocrites. Many of them are also liars. I go back to the Tucker Carlson ranting against the vaccines for so long. He and his family almost certainly vaccinated. Fox News had that policy in place where if you weren't vaccinated, they really made your day-to-day pretty tough. And he never mentioned he was being subjected to it. So they often lie. They are hypocrites, but the real victims are the people who don't really know any better, and they follow them, and they believe the things they say, and they make decisions that are disastrous for their own families. And I'm not talking about necessarily even medical decisions. I'm talking about economic decisions, employment decisions, all sorts of decisions. The people spouting the nonsense don't suffer, But those who have Fox News and Marjorie Taylor Greene's podcast and Real America's Voice as their primary news sources, those are the folks that suffer at the end of the day.